Well, ironically, after all the criticism, it might yet be Ashley Carr to the rescue. We're out of the domestic cups, we're hanging on to top spot in the league, and we're hanging on by a thread in the Champions League. We've got our second leg against English opposition today before a big away game in a domestic calendar. I've got a feeling I might need these tactics. If we need a time waste, I'm ready to go. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 108 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today for the second leg of a tough Champions League last 16 tie. It's all to play for between us and Nuno's side again, as it's Southend trailing by 2 goals to 1 against City going into the home leg at Steve Tilson Park. We also go into this episode having retained our 2 point lead at the top of the Premier League table. However, that does not tell the whole story because we have been in pretty awful form and things are getting tough in all competitions. We've gone flying out the FA Cup, we're out of the League Cup as you know. There is a chance we could end this season trophyless, but yet again, we are competing at the top end, which is a positive. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can get through in Europe today, reach our first Champions League quarter final, I think it would be, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. We want to stay top of the table come the end of this episode, but Sheffield United are a good side. They've been in Europe again this year. The only positive is we've got 5 days between these games, and then due to being out of the FA Cup, we've got 3 weeks off. So let's go and have a look at the schedule and see what's been happening since you were last here, and then we'll go and crack on with these two, because the schedule, it doesn't make pretty reading. Since you were last with me, we have picked up 1 win, which was the last game at home to a relegation struggler. And bar Ashley Carr, no one has scored more than 1 goal in the last 6 matches. Does not bode well, again, considering the quality of our attacking line. You were with me as we lost to Manchester United and Arsenal in the Premier League without scoring. Didn't even manage a shot on target in the first game. And then against Manchester United in the FA Cup, well, we went for the first team. I decided to gamble, and it got even worse. We lost by 3 goals to 0. Hoyland and a couple of the new gens scoring for them. Nobody really turned up for us, to be honest. It was a really poor performance, and it was followed by another pretty average one away at Everton, because with our decision to go for it in the FA Cup, being a little bit worried about losing out on the league title, I was left with no choice but to drop some people out here. They were knackered. We went almost for a backup team, and to be fair, Ashley Carr did give us the lead early in the second half, but the second period was a struggle from that point on. And as you can see, one of our best performers yet again was Jude Sadler in goal, who had to save the day. We did get a point though, which stopped the rot at least. That rot though resumed very quickly away at Manchester City in a Champions League. A 2-1 defeat despite a brilliant start from Ryan Adamson. He came in and got the goal in the first couple of minutes. Kranjic played well as he's built up his fitness. But overall, it was not a great performance. Jude Sadler actually made a very rare mistake in this game, and we lost it by 2 goals to 1. We then had to rotate against Bristol City, which worked fairly well. We had our struggles as well. We got pegged back from 1-0 to 1-1. We got pegged back from 3-1 to 3-2. And we had a few scary moments. Defensively, we weren't great. But Roy Curley came in on the left and got 3 assists. Ashley Carr got himself 2 goals. And Ivanov, Kranjic and Jimenez got 1 apiece. But just nice to see a few of the strikers amongst the goals. Joe Wills is in a little bit of a tough spell at the minute. So that's going to become incredibly important. This episode is a very tough one because City is a chance to make Champions League history, and Sheffield United is one of our toughest remaining Premier League games. The final 2 against Villa and Chelsea may well be decisive at the end of the season. But for now, let's go and get into the first of them here, because the Champions League is one of only 2 trophy chances remaining, and we may have to throw all our eggs in the Premier League basket at the end of today's video. So let's go and get through the Southend v City. We trail 2-1 going into the second leg. You can see they're going with experience. We've had mixed form against them this season. We've had some great days. We've had some pretty poor ones. We're going to make big changes from the team that played at the weekend against Bristol City. And hopefully this being close to our full 11 will produce a very good display on the day. Sold out at Steve Tilson Park as you would expect. Let's see what the assistant has gone for. Then decide what changes we're going to make. One of them will be either Sanchez or O'Day at centre-half. We're going to go for Sanchez. In the middle, we've had some struggles with Kivrakidis recently. Jimenez has been in form, so I'm actually going to bring him in central midfield. It's a little bit of a gamble, that decision. And then Joe Wills is out of form up front. He has not scored in his last 5, so you know what's coming now. We've been waiting for this. Criticise the recent form. I believe in your goal scoring ability. This is your time to react. The subs bench, we've actually got a full 12 for the Champions League here. But I feel we're going to go for Curly over one of the others because we need to try and mix up the bench. I'm looking at where we've got too many players and it's probably centre half. So it might have to be that Parker drops out, or potentially it could be the second right winger in Takatsuka. But I'm going to go Curly on the bench in place of Harrison Parker. We're going to gamble on this. It is our full 11. It is the best we can put out against City. If we lose it, it's frankly because we're just not good enough. We've got Jude Sadler in goal. No mistakes in the second leg, please. Memic and De Angelis at fullback with Sanchez and Herbert as centre half. Memic is the latest player to become unhappy about his contractual terms, but we'll deal with that when we get through these fixtures, maybe in that 3-week international break. We've got Yukalano and Adamson out wide, both performed well in their last game. Bernberg in the middle alongside a high-flying Jimenez, but then up front is Kranjic, who's back amongst the goals and fully fit, with Joe Wills, who desperately needs one. On the bench, Ashley Carr is ready if we need him, and he might well get a start of the weekend yet. So let's go and get through to it. Southend v City, a chance at Champions League history, a chance at the last day. It's the one trophy of the big ones we haven't won yet, just that and the Carabao Cup to tick off. And Manchester City, similarly to us, have made plenty of changes from their last league game. Erling Haaland still an ever-present. They've got Gvardiol skipper in the side at the back, but quality players everywhere. Ryan Shirky, Esprit has caused us trouble we've seen before. Pablo's a top striker. Doyle at centre-half, an original youngster. And on the bench, they've just got the small matter of the likes of an experienced Foden. Ignacio's there too, and Van der Voort's not a bad keeper. So let's see what Nuno's side do today. They often set up pretty cautiously on the road, but into the first half here with a 2-1 lead, how are they going to approach it? Do they want to try and get the first goal, or are they just going to sit back on us? Because at home, when they did that early in the season in the Premier League, we beat them comfortably. In other competitions and in other games, we found that difficult. And what a time for it. I know in recent updates it's calmed down a bit, but the goalkeeper injuries in FM24, Jude Sadler is off, so it won't be a mistake for him today. But it's a big game for Spike Brits. We've updated our backup goalkeeper this season. He had a big moment in the Community Shield at the start of the year, and he's going to have a big game here. He's not the best keeper in the world, but can he do a job for us? Spike Brits, the number 2. And Jude Sadler, how bad is that injury and how costly could it be when it comes to the Premier League title race? That's the worry. We're a quarter of the way through the game. We're yet to have a shot on target. The morale's down a bit, which you can understand with the injury, especially if it was a bad one. But we are working forward here. Though as I say that, Joe Wills caught in possession just inside the opposition half. They work through to Esprit. Support from Haaland. Great run, Castellero. Let's offer a little bit of encouragement. Wrong button there. And try and get these lads on the front foot, because so far it's just gone a little bit flat. And since the injury, we've not really had a reaction. City, the dominant team, they're definitely coming out and trying to win it. And at the moment, as you can see from those match ratings there, Spike Brits is the only overachieving performer. And Manchester City are having all of the chances. They've got a corner kick here. We might have to go for broke here. If we lose 5-0, so be it. I know we've worked hard to try and build the confidence back up after a poor run, but it's just been a rotten run of fixtures, and now we're left with no choice. Shirky gets to the byline, across to Pablo, who puts in. Memic was there. Where are the 2 centre-halves? I have no idea. But the second half, we're going to have to be aggressive. My team selection dilemmas have not paid off. Jimenez has been the worst performer. Wills has been the second worst. I think around the hour mark, we might just have to go for broke in this game. We're going to have a talk to the lads because it's not been good. Manchester City on paper are a better side. They're not a more consistent side, especially under Nuno, but they're in the dominant position here, and I don't know where we get 2 goals from, because no matter what we say, Bristol City game aside, who are poor opposition, we have not created a lot in the last few matches, and I'm not going to wait any longer here. Yukalano will be replaced by Jorg Robertson. I'm going to take off Jimenez for going to be Kivrakidis, and we're going to take off Joe Wills, move Kranjic over, and on comes the man of the moment in Ashley Carr. It only leaves 1 sub, don't forget, because we lost the keeper early, and we're going to go attacking with 35 to go. We've got to try and put it on them here. Then we've got a free kick with Peter Bernberg. Short to Robertson, into Kranic. What a routine that is. Out of nowhere, we've got a goal back. We're level on the night. There's an appeal for offside. That goal was fine. I have no doubt about it. Kranic with the finish. Lovely work. And it's 1-1. We're back in a tie. Now, can that swing the momentum? Can that get City panicking? Get them behind the ball? Or are they just going to shore things up? Inacio's on for the experienced Gavardiol. Not a bad sub to have, is it? And with 15 to go, we've not really had a kick since. So let's make one more change. Adamson looks knackered on the left. We're going to go for Luis Vasquez. One of the areas we've got the real quality on the bench to come on. And I just hope it's enough. Can we find one more chance? Take this tie to extra time. It would be an absolutely brilliant achievement if we could push all the way. There's 10 to go. We've encouraged the lads. We're already attacking. There's no more we can do. We just need the one chance, and we've got a set piece with Vasquez to the back post. Herbert gets there. It falls for George Robertson. Only his second goal for the club in an awful injury hit first season in the Premier League. Big money spent with no return so far until now. Big goal from George Robertson. An extra time might be on the cards. What a moment for the 22-year-old Dutchman who's finally getting a little run. And it looks like it's going to peter out into stoppage time. It is 2-1 on the night. We've produced a late show again. And it's extra time between Southend and City. Who's going to cope with that better physically? I don't know. Peter Bernberg is knackered and on a yellow. De Angelis is knackered but not on a yellow. And I think that decides it for me. Ivo Torres will come on. We're going to switch Kivrakidis round into that playmaker role, which he's really developed nicely into. And in fact, did we not have 2 subs remaining? I think we do. No, we made the last one, didn't we? Vasquez came on. So I've got no subs remaining. We're going to go into extra time. We're going to stay attacking for now. I want to see if we can push City back and really press them in extra time. They've got a more experienced squad than us, but they have just made 3 subs. But some of those coming on were already a bit tired. Hato's got a throw on the left though. Foden, the experienced magician, is on. Finds Veloso. Might regret going attacking here, but we've got to go for it. It's what's got us back into this game. Spike Brits was penalty hero in a Community Shield on his debut. He's not had many games since, but will this be a chance for him to do the same again? Our penalty shootout record is pretty average, but Spike Brits is the man. We've encouraged one more time. We're going for it. City's goal threat since half-time in the regular 90 minutes has been pretty poor, and we've come right back into it. But the extra time period, as it so often does, has passed without any incident at all. And the worry we have here is that we've not worried about penalty takers during the game. We've just put people on to try and make a difference. And the penalty takers we've got on this football pitch are appalling. Spike Brits is better than 2 of our outfield players. And I'm greatly concerned when I'm looking at this now. I'm not sure this is going to be our day. But as we've said so many times here and on Twitch this year, the penalty taking attribute doesn't really matter. It's all about confidence. And seeing the nerves there from our 2 worst takers is not ideal. As first up, it is Erling Haaland. Spike Brits, he did it on his debut in a Community Shield. Can he do it again? Not against Haaland. You wouldn't expect him to make a mistake. It's now Van der Voort, who did make the mistake to lead to that Georg Robertson goal, who goes up against Dejan Kranic, right-footed, back in the team, back to fitness. And just like Haaland, a very composed penalty into the bottom corner. Castillero is up second for City. Spike Brits is waiting. Standing pretty still. Goes the wrong way. 3 good penalties so far. And Luis Vasquez, the sub left winger. We're starting with our 2 unhappy players. How will they produce? Vasquez sticks his arms out, but he puts it in the corner. It's another great penalty. 4 have gone well. Phil Foden, probably the most experienced player on the pitch now, is up against Brits. He's doing a bit of dancing this time, Spike, but he can't make the save. City stay ahead. We'll go in first, prove crucial. We're now down to pretty average takers as Georg Robertson, the man who got us here, has also kept us in it. That's an emphatic penalty from Georg Robertson. What a night this has been for him. Could it be the night for Spike Brits again? Pablo steps up, scored the City goal, and it's a lovely penalty. Just about the most successful shootout we've seen in FM24. But now we are down to very poor takers. Kivrakidis right-footed, straight at the keeper. And that's what we were waiting for. Now, both of these penalties have to go our way, or it's a glorious failure. And arguably the worst one, because 120 minutes is the only thing that puts fitness in jeopardy in 5 days' time for some of these lads. João Veloso v Spike Brits, our sub-goalkeeper. Probably going to have to play a few games now. Can he save the day? Veloso, Brits saves it. Spike Brits is a hero. Now, Ashley Carr, oh no. We've worked so hard to build his confidence back up. Ashley Carr has been brilliant in recent weeks, but he can't take a penalty to save his life. Just let the confidence, the fitness, the finishing and the composure, just let them overrule it. They don't. Ashley Carr. I mean, I must have kiboshed it at the start of the episode. I said, could he finally be the hero? And he somehow found a way to be the villain again. Ashley Carr misses the decisive penalty. And we go out in agonising form in the Champions League. We're getting closer. That's the only positive I can say. We're getting closer in these elite competitions. But the Champions League will have to wait another season. And now in 5 days' time, we've got Sheffield United. And my worry, with us only 2 points clear in the Premier League, is what on earth is the hangover from this night going to be? Well, the first hangover probably could be worse because a 4 to 5 week injury for Jude Sadler likely only means missing 1 or 2 games, because with a 3-week international break after this, he may well be fit again after the break. 8 million quid for a defeat in the Champions League. But unfortunately, a difficult night. A brilliant performance from Jorg Robertson, but it'll be remembered in vain. And that moment that could have been his arrival, heroics from Ashley Carr, they could have been there, but both went the other way. And now we've got to bounce back. Sheffield United in a moment. Well, I've had to come back in between the games because it's all going wrong, to be honest. We've had a dressing room revolt for missing out on the latter stages of the Champions League by a penalty kick. The board are unhappy. Half the squad have thrown their toys out the pram. Now, after all of our investment, this is the youth intake we've got. One of the worst we've ever had. There's a couple of players with 2-star potential, but they are pretty average with poor personalities, let me tell you that. This is turning into a horror week. And I worry, with a banana skin game coming against Sheffield United, how on earth is it going to go? We'll find out in a second, but I'm a little bit pessimistic now, having started with a little more optimism. Well, we've got a chance to either throw down the gauntlet or hand over an opportunity today, because Arsenal are at home to Aston Villa, who are struggling this year, in the Monday Night Football tomorrow. But for now, we go to Sheffield United, who are having a far better year. And we've got probably some pretty tired legs. We know Spike Brits is going to have to do 90 today. We know there are a few people who will be lacking in confidence now. So let's see the state of the fitness here. Is everyone okay? They are, but there's a couple of heavy match loads. We're going to have to make some decisions. We'll be back in a minute when we've made them. Here we go then, and I'm going bold. I've made just 2 changes to the team, including the enforced goalkeeper adjustment. Kivrakidis is back in for Jimenez to make it our first 11. I've kept Kranjic and Wills up front. I've brought Kivrakidis in, but I've kept Bernberg alongside, even though he's a little unhappy and performing poorly at the minute. It's maybe something we've got to adjust for next season. I've given Jimenez a complete rest because he's got a far heavier match load than anyone in the squad. But otherwise, we've gone strong. We've gone for our best team possible. So let's hope with just those 2 changes made and having had a 5-day break that these lads will be fit enough and confident enough to make things happen against Sheffield United. We're still 2 points clear at the top. And if we win the Premier League, this could be another great season. Well, 5 changes for our host today, who have Russell Martin in charge, no less. Paul Vanner in the middle, a player we know is top class from our head coach save and a stint at Bayern Munich. We've also seen on the bench they've got some players that were very good youngsters at the start of this save. Amad Diallo, Curtis Jones among them, and Diogo Fernandez on the bench. Does anyone remember him? We've had him on loan a couple of times in this Southend United side, once in the lower leagues as well, and he is a top quality striker. To be on the bench, he must have a pretty good team. So let's go and tell the lads to say we're the favourites here. Go and give the fans a performance they can cheer for. Or we're going to potentially lose our table lead. Let's go for that one. Few players inspired and motivated, but you can tell which ones are unhappy. Memic doesn't react. Joe Wills is just lacking in confidence. And Bernberg was the one player after that little dressing room revolt in midweek that we couldn't win around. So I'm going to keep an eye on him. We might have some sales this year. But the biggest concern is that yet again after 5 minutes, Spike Brits is the best player as Adamson gets it on the left to De Angelis. Could really do with an early goal and just making a comfortable day of something for once. Even against Bristol City, we didn't do that. As Adamson finds Wills out of scoring form until now. Joe Wills ends the goal drought. And we saw it this time last year, didn't we? Our first ever title win. And the last 2 months after signing his new deal, Joe Wills just went mad for goals. If he can do the same at the big moment again here, it could be a very big finish for us yet. 15 gone, Southend lead 1-0. It's the only shot we've had according to the stats. But it's the only one that matters because we're 1-0 up as De Angelis tries to get down the left, loses possession. And one thing I would love to see for the first time in a while is a clean sheet as Kivrakidis gives it to Kranic. Run down the right comes from Yukulano, but Kranic keeps it for Memic. In he goes to Joe Wills. Great effort just over the bar. He's building confidence again. He's going for shots from everywhere. And we've got a corner kick. We've looked very good this first half. Adamson up to Herbert. Down for Kivrakidis. Just over the bar. Thought that might have exercised the demons of midweek for him. But he just misses out. But looking at the ratings, it's the first time we've had a really good display. But we're only 1-0 up. We've missed chances. And now it only takes one moment for it to change. Because Sheffield United are in down the left. And they've got a chance to cross the ball. Memic wins it, but it only goes as far as Pacho. And now Omar. Chance to shoot from distance. Wide of the post. Brits had it covered. It's been a really good half an hour. It was a good second half against Manchester City. But these lads are going to tire later. So only having a 1-goal advantage might not be enough. You can see there Kranic has got a bruise. We'll take him off at half time. It shouldn't get worse and I don't want to lose a sub break. But he had a heavy match load and he's the sort of player that probably could pick up a few injuries. So we're going to say don't get complacent. Joe Wills I'm going to praise because he played really well. Very happy with your performance. This is 200th for Southend. Wow. What a moment to end your goal drought. Ashley Carr, I'm giving you a chance. You've been very good domestically recently. You threw it all away in the penalty shootout, but you can win it back now if you get the second goal. So go out there and deliver the moment. You're on a free kick now. Ashley Carr has the moment. Outswinger. The wall's not greatly positioned. He can curl this round, you know. Will it be a routine again? No, it won't. Ashley Carr hits the post. It's just not happening for him consistently this year. It's been a really great display, but I'm petrified at 1-0 because we've just not kept a clean sheet for a month and a half. We've got a backup goalkeeper in. There's so much that concerns me here. We're 20 to go. We're going to think about a few more changes after this highlight with De Angelis. Bernberg gets it from the winger. Cuts inside on his right foot. Support from Joe Wills, who can turn inside. Kivrakidis there. He goes from distance. Wide from Jorgensen for a corner. Let's get to those changes. Jorg Robertson did really well in midweek. He'll replace Yukulano, who's not had a great game. Bernberg will come off for Ivo Torres. And we'll leave the last two a few more minutes because we're playing well. I don't want to just change things for the sake of it. We don't have to make 5 subs every game. As Adamson with the corner. Headed over the bar. Not sure if Wills or Herbert got the last touch there. But either way, it stays 1. And this is really worrying me. Though Ashley Carr's nicked it from a throw in the Sheffield United half. Finds Ryan Adamson. Chance to shoot. It's blocked out to De Angelis. But there's 4 in the middle. Carr's one of them. Carr scores. Is he onside? It could be the moment that just takes away that angst from midweek. And gets him back in the good books. Ashley Carr. Goal awarded. Great cross De Angelis. But Ashley Carr's had his moment. And that's really important, I feel, after midweek. Adamson's knackered. He's going to come off for Luis Vasquez. And in defence, I'm going to go Rakoski on for Hector Sanchez, who struggled a little bit in recent days and will be going away with Mexico for the international break. So Rakoski, a very able deputy. He'll do a job. And we're 10 to go. Do you know what? This has felt like a really good Southend performance. And I can't remember the last time I said that. Sheffield United are a good side. They're one of the best we've got left. So if we can produce these performances, we may well stay in the title race and we may well stay at the top of it. A really good performance, a 2-0 win, and I'm just as happy with a clean sheet as anything else. Ashley Carr gets his goal, forgets that missed penalty very quickly, and we will stay top of the table regardless of the Arsenal result tomorrow. But before we finish off this episode, let's go and see how they get on. Well, Monday night football at the Emirates, and will it be a 5, 4 or 2 point gap after this episode? Arsenal at home to lowly Villa. They were managed by Pep. He must have been sacked. He took over from Jose. Yeah, he's only lasted half a season, and now Mark Harrison is in charge, having been at Aston Villa as an interim for a number of occasions. He's been caretaker 3 times from head of youth development role, and now he is the interim till the end of the season. But how on earth will Arsenal get on? This is a big, big game for us. Press continue and cross your fingers. What will the score be? Of course it is. Arsenal win 3-1 despite falling behind. The gap is just 2. The title race will be intense, and we will be finishing it and bringing it to a conclusion in a couple of days' time, because we are going to be back to finish the week with Villa and Chelsea in our final 2 matches. Will we be top of the table going into it? And will we be able to make it back-to-back titles in defence of our first ever Premier League crown? If you want to stay up to date and find out whether we can do that or whether we will finish trophyless aside from the Community Shield, and please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Hopefully you enjoyed that drama against City, especially as it ended in heartbreak again. But what a recovery against Sheffield United. A great performance for the first time in a long time, and a first clean sheet since Forest at home. Very much appreciated. Fingers crossed it'll be a big finish to the season. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll do it or not. In the meantime, though, we will be back tomorrow with the coach's head from Willem 2. It's been a big week, starting with the summer transfer special, which you can find up in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel and the football podcast, where we've got loads of Euro 2024 watch-alongs, loads of predictions and Championship Manager specials. You may have noticed also we've started doing dual streaming here, so you can watch those streams on YouTube as well, just with a few less features. But thank you very much for being here as always, for supporting the show. We've got ourselves a tense title race. I'll see you in a couple of days to find out we come out on top in it.